Hi everyone, welcome to the session on signals and systems. So in the last class we started the properties of the Fourier transforms. So we completed the Parseval's energy theorem in the last class. Parseval's energy theorem. So what is the Parseval energy theorem? So if x of t is the continuous time signal given to you, so its Fourier transform is x of j omega. Then the energy of the signal can be obtained directly by using the x of j omega. So what is the formula for energy of the signal? It's 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity mod x of j omega whole square d omega. This is the Parseval's energy theorem. Whenever x of j omega is given to you, so we can directly find out the energy of the continuous time signal using this formula. So we completed the Parseval's energy theorem in the last class. So in this class also we are going to discuss the properties of the Fourier transforms. So in that the second property is the linearity property. So linearity property. So linearity property. If you know the Fourier series properties, the properties of Fourier transforms are similar to the properties of the Fourier series. So linearity property, first I will give you the statement. So after that, so we will prove the statement. So essay question is given on this topic, like that state and prove any 3 or 4 properties of the Fourier transforms. So like that the essay question came on this topic. So when it comes to the linearity property statement, so to explain the linearity, let us consider two signals. So one is x1 of t is a continuous time signal given to you. See its Fourier transform is x1 of j omega, and so we have another signal x2 of t. So its Fourier transform is given as x2 of j omega. Then so if we consider the linear combination of these two, so which is your alpha times x1 of t plus beta times x2 of t. So if you consider the linear combination of the two signals, so this is your linear combination of the two signals. The corresponding Fourier transform is also a linear combination of its corresponding Fourier transforms. So this is the output of this equation. The linear combination of the continuous time signals will produce the linear combination of the signals in the corresponding frequency domain. So this is the linearity statement. So now how we are going to prove this linearity statement? So for that, let us consider this linear combination of the two signals is x of t. So x of t is equal to alpha times x1 of t plus beta times x2 of t. Now what is the Fourier transform of x of t? So Fourier transform of x of t, that is equal to, so integral minus infinity to plus infinity. So x of t, your signal, into e power minus j omega t dt. That is the Fourier transform of the continuous time signal x of t. Now what is the x of t here? Here x of t is a linear combination of the two signals. So which is your alpha times x1 of t plus beta times x2 of t. So that is your x of t, e power minus j omega t dt. Now rearranging this expression, taking alpha outside because it is constant, so integral minus infinity to plus infinity. So x1 of t e power minus j omega t dt plus, here beta is there, so beta is getting outside, minus infinity to plus infinity. So x2 of t, so e power minus j omega t dt. Now what is this expression? What is this expression? So this expression is nothing but what? Fourier transform of x1 of t beta times, what is this expression? This expression is nothing but Fourier transform of x2 of t, so implies alpha times, what is Fourier transform of x1 of t? So this is your x1 of j omega plus beta times, what is Fourier transform of x2 of t? It is x2 of j omega, so beta times x2 of j omega. This is your right hand side, so this is your left hand side. So your left hand side is linear combination of two signals, your right hand side is linear combination of the corresponding signals in the frequency domain, so this is the linearity property in the case of Fourier transforms. Once again I will repeat the linearity property. To explain the linearity property, let us consider two signals in the continuous time domain. So x1 of t is a signal given to you, its Fourier transform is x1 of j omega. x2 of t is another signal, its corresponding Fourier transform is x2 of j omega. Then the linearity property states that if you consider the linear combination of the two signals, that is alpha times x1 of t plus beta times x2 of t, or a times x1 of t plus b times x2 of t, like that you can consider in place of alpha and beta you can consider any constants a, b. In the textbook it is given a and b, so I consider here alpha and beta. So this is the weighted sum of the inputs or linear combination of the inputs. So whenever your input is a linear combination of the two inputs, the corresponding Fourier transform is the linear combination of the corresponding signals in the frequency domain. This is your output, that is your output. So to prove this, we consider the Fourier transform of a signal x of t. Here x of t is linear combination of the two signals, and rearranging the equation so that I will get the right hand side of the expression, which is the linear combination of the corresponding signals in the frequency domain. This is the linearity property for the Fourier transforms. So in the examination, essay question came on this topic. So like this, I state and explain, state and prove any 3 or 4 properties of the Fourier transform. Or the essay question is given like this: state and prove the following properties of the Fourier transforms. So linearity property, conjugation property, like that they can ask any 3 properties. They can ask any 3 properties. We have almost 11 properties are there, similar to the Fourier series. Fourier transforms also we have almost 11 properties are there. They can ask any 3 properties. One more thing is, if you know the properties, if the properties are in your fingertips, then in the next stage we are going to solve the problems. In the next stage we are going to solve the problems based on the Fourier transforms. So if you want to solve the problems based on the Fourier transforms, so you should remember all the properties. You should remember all the properties. So once we done the proofs, it is very easy to remember the properties. So the next property we are going to discuss is the conjugation property. So this is the third property we are going to discuss, is the conjugation property. So this is conjugation property. So conjugation property, so statement is like this. For any property we have statement and we have proof. Statement is like this: so if x of t is a continuous time signal, so its Fourier transform is x of j omega, or x of j omega is the Fourier transform of x of t, or x of j omega is the Fourier transform of x of t, or x of t is the inverse Fourier transform of x of j omega. That's why I put both sides arrows. That is the meaning of both sides arrows. Fourier transform of x of t is x of j omega. So inverse Fourier transform of x of j omega is your time domain signal. So this is the signal and its corresponding signal in the frequency domain. Then the conjugation property states that, so conjugation, if you conjugate your signal, input signal, so what is its corresponding Fourier transform? So let us consider it is x dash of j omega. So that is the conjugation property. So if x of t is a signal given to you and its Fourier transform is x of j omega, then so if you conjugate your input signal, then what is the corresponding the frequency domain signal? That is your x dash of j omega. That we need to find this x dash of j omega, x dash of j omega. For this already you know what is the Fourier transform. Next we are going to prove this property. This is the conjugation property. Just we conjugate the input signal, so we need to find the corresponding signal in the frequency domain, that is x dash of j omega. We apply the conjugate for the time domain signal, and we have to find the corresponding signal in the frequency domain. Now all of you know the Fourier transform of a signal x of t. So what is the Fourier transform? Minus infinity to plus infinity. So x of t into e power minus j omega t dt. So this is the Fourier transform of your time domain signal. So x of j omega is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of t into e power minus j omega t. But here we need to find the Fourier transform for x conjugate of t. Therefore apply conjugate both sides on the above equation. How can you get to x conjugate of t? If you conjugate both sides, we will get x conjugate of j omega. So just conjugate on both sides of the above equation. So we will get an integral minus infinity to plus infinity. So this is your x conjugate of t. Now e power minus j omega t conjugate is what? So e power j omega t dt. Now what is the standard formula? In the standard formula, here we have the signal x of t. I want to represent this in the standard formula. For that, here the signal is x conjugate of t. So if I want to find the Fourier transform of x conjugate of t, here I want minus j omega t, because in the formula we have e power minus j omega t, but here e power j omega t is there. E power j omega t is there. How can you get e power minus j omega t? For that, just replace omega by minus omega on both sides of the above equation. So what we will get? So we will get x conjugate of minus j omega is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity. Here x conjugate of t. So I want to represent this signal in terms of the standard formula. For that, you just replace omega by minus omega. Now observe this right hand side expression. So this right hand side expression is nothing but Fourier transform of your signal x conjugate of t or not. So your right hand side equation, this is equation is nothing but the Fourier transform of x conjugate of t. What is Fourier transform of x conjugate of t? It is integral minus infinity to plus infinity x conjugate of t into e power minus j omega t dt. Now what is the Fourier transform of x conjugate of t? It is x conjugate of minus j omega. It is x conjugate of minus j omega. That means what? The Fourier transform of x conjugate of t. So we consider here x dash of j omega, that is equal to x conjugate of minus j omega. Minus j omega. This is the conjugation property. Conjugation property is nothing but, see, if x of t is a signal, continuous time signal given to you, its Fourier transform is x of j omega, then the conjugate of x of t, what is its corresponding signal in the frequency domain. That is your conjugation property. If you conjugate your input signal, what is the corresponding signal in the frequency domain? For that, I just consider the equation for Fourier transform of a continuous time signal. This is the equation. I want to find the conjugate of t, Fourier transform of conjugate of t. For that, I just take conjugate on both sides of this equation, so that I will get this equation. Now if you observe this equation, I want to write this equation in terms of the standard form. For that, in the standard form, x of t, in the place of x of t, we have x conjugate of t is signal is there. But in the case of e power minus j omega t, we have e power j omega t is there. So to represent this equation in terms of the standard equation, I just replace both sides by omega by minus omega, so that I will get this equation. Now if you observe the right hand side equation, this is nothing but the Fourier transform of x conjugate of t. Now what is we need to find Fourier transform of x conjugate of t. What we will get? We will get x conjugate of minus j omega. We will get x conjugate of minus j omega. That is the Fourier transform of x conjugate of t. So if Fourier transform of x of t is equal to x of j omega, then the conjugation property states that the Fourier transform of x conjugate of t is equal to x conjugate of minus j omega. So this is your answer. So this is about the conjugation property. Next property we are going to discuss is the area under the time domain signal. So the fourth property we are going to discuss is area under the time domain signal x of t. How can you calculate the area under x of t? So what is the formula we are going to use to calculate the area under x of t? How can you calculate the area under x of t? So if you want to calculate the area under the x of t, so this is the expression we are using to calculate the area under the x of t. So if you integrate your the time domain signal in between minus infinity to plus infinity, so you will get what? So you will get area under the curve. So this is your formula to calculate the area under the x of t. Now I want to find the area under x of t using the Fourier transforms. For that, you consider the Fourier transform of x of t. So which is your x of j omega. So what is x of j omega? Integral minus infinity to plus infinity. So x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So this is the formula for Fourier transform of a continuous time signal. So this is your x of t. I want to calculate the area under the x of t. You already know how to calculate the area under x of t. So using this formula, we are going to calculate the area under x of t. Now if we observe the equation of Fourier transforms, how can you get this area under x of t using this expression? So you just simply substitute omega equal to 0 on both sides of the above equation. So what we will get? So we will get x of 0 is equal to, so integral minus infinity to plus infinity. This is x of t. E power 0 is 1 into dt. So this is what? This is nothing but the area under. So this is nothing but area under your time domain signal x of t. Now how to calculate the area under x of t? So if you know your x of j omega, in that if you simply put omega equal to 0, so you will get area under the curve x of t. Area under the curve x of t. So this is very important property of Fourier transforms. Area under x of t. I want to calculate the area under x of t using x of j omega. So in the problem it is given if x of t is given and its Fourier transform is also given, x of j omega is given. So then we need to calculate the area under x of t. You need to calculate the area under x of t. So that is equal to capital X of 0. You just simply put omega equal to 0 for your frequency domain signal. You directly get the area under the your time domain signal, area under the time domain signal. So this is about the area under the x of t. This formula is very, very important. Already you know this formula, how to calculate the area under the any signal. If you want to calculate area under any signal, you just integrate that signal in between minus infinity to plus infinity range, so that you will get the area under the signal x of t. That point already we know. Now using the Fourier transforms, how we are going to calculate the area under the x of t directly. We already know this formula, x of j omega is given to you. Already you should know this formula. I just put omega equal to 0 on both sides of the equation, so that I will get my area under the x of t, which is equal to capital X of j omega, which is equal to capital X of 0. So that is the formula used to calculate the area under your time domain signal, area under the time domain signal. Now next property, area under x of t is over. Next property, so in the same way we are going to calculate the area under capital X of j omega. So this is the time domain signal. So this is the signal in the frequency domain. How to calculate the area under x of j omega? So area under x of j omega. So area under any signal can be obtained by integrating that signal in between minus infinity to plus infinity range. We need to integrate that signal to calculate the area under the x of j omega. Now using the Fourier transform, how we are going to calculate the area under x of j omega directly. So for that use this expression. Already you know this expression. How can you represent a time domain signal using the inverse Fourier transforms? So it is minus infinity to plus infinity. So x of j omega e power j omega t d omega. So this formula already you know. So what is this formula? This formula is inverse Fourier transform of your frequency domain signal. So it will give the time domain signal, that is x of t equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of j omega into e power j omega t d omega. I want to calculate the area under x of j omega. So this is the formula to calculate the area under x of j omega. Now how can we get this expression? Using this equation, how can we get this expression? You just put t equal to 0 on both sides of the above equation. You just put t equal to 0 on both sides of the above equation. We will get what? So we will get x of 0 is equal to 1 by 2 pi. So integral minus infinity to plus infinity. Here x of j omega. So e power j omega into 0 is nothing but e power 0. So e power 0 is 1 into d omega. So I want the area under the x of j omega. So it is nothing but integral minus infinity to plus infinity. So your x of j omega d omega is nothing but what? 2 pi times x of 0. So this is the formula used to calculate the area under the x of j omega. Area under the x of j omega is nothing but integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of j omega d omega. To calculate the area under any curve, under any signal, we just integrate that signal in between minus infinity to plus infinity, whether the signal is time domain signal or the signal is in frequency domain. The formula is integrate the signal in between minus infinity to plus infinity. So here area under x of j omega is, we need to integrate x of j omega in between minus infinity to plus infinity. Now how can we get this? Using the Fourier transforms. I use the inverse Fourier transform here. The formula is like this: x of t is equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of j omega into e power j omega t d omega. I want this expression. So how can we get this expression? You just to simply put t equal to 0 on both sides of the above equation, so that I will get a integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of j omega d omega is equal to 2 pi times x of 0. This is the area under your frequency domain signal x of j omega. Frequency domain signal x of j omega. This is about the area under x of j omega and area under the x of t. How to calculate the area under the time domain signal and how to calculate the area under the frequency domain signal. So this is about the fifth property of the Fourier transforms. Next we will move on to the next property of the Fourier transform, so which is the sixth property. Sixth property is the time reversal property. So the time reversal property of Fourier transform. Time reversal property. So first I will give you the statement. Statement is like this: see if the x of t is a time domain signal, so its Fourier transform is x of j omega. Then so if we perform the time reversal operation on our input signal, so time reversal operation of x of t will produce x of minus t. Then what is its corresponding Fourier transform? What is its corresponding Fourier transform? You need to find x dash of j omega. Now all of you know the formula for Fourier transforms. So what is x dash of j omega? X dash of j omega is nothing but the Fourier transform of your signal x of minus t. That is your x dash of j omega here. So what is the formula to find x dash of j omega? Integral minus infinity to plus infinity. Here the signal is x of minus t e power minus j omega t dt. So this t is given in the formula. So here the signal is x of minus t. Here the signal is x of minus t. No need to change this formula, e power minus j omega t. So e power minus j omega t is the factor in the formula, given in the formula. Here the signal is x of minus t. Correspondingly the Fourier transform is x dash of j omega. Correspondingly the Fourier transform is x dash of j omega. Suppose if the signal is x of t, then the Fourier transform is what? X of j omega. In the formula, how can you define x of j omega? So how can you define x of j omega? X of j omega is integral minus infinity to plus infinity. Here the signal is x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So this factor is already in the formula. No need to change this. Whenever here x of minus, if you take x of minus t, no need to change the t here. Here the t is the, it belongs to the e power minus j omega t. So no need to change this t to minus t here. Here this is the signal. E power minus j omega t is the factor in the formula. Factor given in the formula. So here we need to change the signal x of minus t. Previously it is x of t. Correspondingly the Fourier transform is x of j omega. Now here the signal is x of minus t. We need to find the Fourier transform of x of minus t. For that the Fourier transform is x dash of j omega. X dash of j omega. So I want to represent this in terms of the standard formula. In the standard formula we have here x of t is there. Therefore I just replace this minus t by a dummy variable tau. Here I change the variable, so minus t to tau. Previously this formula is with respect to dt. Now I am going to change my variable t to tau. For that I replace minus t by tau. Minus t by tau. Now what is my lower limit for tau? So x dash of j omega, clearly observe here. So this is x dash of j omega. Now what is the lower limit here? The lower limit here is with respect to t. Now I am going to change this equation to t to tau. T to tau. For that the lower limit for tau is what? Tau is minus t. Here t is lower limit is minus infinity. Therefore tau is infinity. So what is the upper limit for tau? Previously this is limit is for t equal to infinity. Minus, but what is my tau? Tau is minus t. Therefore upper limit is infinity. Here x of tau e power. So t is replaced by minus tau. Therefore e power minus j omega t becomes what? So e power j omega tau into dt is what? Small change in dt. Minus dt is d tau, implies dt is what? So dt is d tau minus d tau. If you differentiate both sides on this equation, a small change in dt results in minus times the small change in the tau value. Here I need to substitute minus d tau. Minus d tau. Now, so if you observe this equation, how can you write this equation in terms of the standard form? So to write this equation in terms of the standard form, here minus is there. So whenever we interchange the limits of integration, this minus becomes plus. Minus becomes plus. So I just interchange the limits of the integration. Previously my limit is plus infinity, upper limit is minus infinity. I just use this minus and interchange the limits so that I will get here plus sign. So minus infinity to plus infinity. Here x of tau e power, I can write here j omega t, j omega tau d tau. So but this is not the actual formula. In the actual formula we have e power minus j omega tau is there. E power j minus j omega tau is there. For that so I replace omega by minus omega on both sides of the equation. So that what I can get, x dash of minus j omega c is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity. So this is not in the standard form. In the standard form we have e power minus j omega tau. So to bring this equation in the standard form, I just replace omega by minus omega on both sides, so that I can get left hand side is x dash of j omega. Therefore it is x dash of minus j omega. So integral minus infinity to plus infinity, here x of tau e power minus j omega tau into d tau to d tau. Now it is in the standard form. Only thing is the variable is changed. You can take any variable, t, tau, x, you can take any variable. So but the no matter whatever the variable you take, but it is in the standard form. So here I take variable t, here I take variable is tau to define the Fourier transforms. Now this equation is in the standard form or not? So this is the standard form of the equation. Now what is the my x of minus t? What is the Fourier transform of x of minus t? X dash of j omega is nothing but what? X dash of j omega is nothing but what? X dash of minus j omega. That means what? Here it is x of minus j omega. So that is the x of minus j omega. What is this formula? This is nothing but your, so if you replace here by minus omega, I can write here. So let us observe here. So x of tau e power, I just replace this or you can do another procedure here. You can simply identify this formula minus infinity to plus infinity. So x of tau into e power minus j into minus omega tau d tau. I just write e power j omega tau by this expression, e power minus j of minus omega tau d tau. Now what is the formula for this equation? This is x of minus j omega or not. So this is x of minus j omega. Now your x dash of minus j omega is what? X of minus j omega. X of minus j omega. So this is your time domain signal x of t. Its corresponding Fourier transform is x of j omega. Now if you perform the time reversal operation on your input signal x of t, the corresponding signal in the frequency domain also we have the time reversal operation. Previously we have x of j omega. Now we will get x of minus j omega. For x of minus t, we will get x of minus j omega. Like that you can remember the property. So if x of j omega is the Fourier transform of x of t, then x of minus j omega is the Fourier transform of x of minus t. So which is proved from the equation, well known equation, Fourier transform of x of t. Already you know this formula. So using the formula we can prove the right hand side is equal to left hand side. So this is the time reversal property of the Fourier transform. Time reversal property is simply x of t is the time diagonal signal given to you. Its Fourier transform is x of j omega. Then so what is the Fourier transform of x of minus t? It is nothing but x of minus j omega. So this is your time reversal property of the Fourier transform. You can easily identify here. Just you need to represent this equation in the standard form. So in the standard form we have e power minus j omega t is there, but here e power j omega tau is there. How can you represent it in terms of the standard form? You just write this equation e power j omega tau by this way. So e power minus j of minus omega tau d tau. Now what is the equation? Here this equation is x of minus j omega, because x of j omega is e power minus j omega t. So what is x of minus j omega? E power j omega tau d2. So this is the right hand side. So this is about the time reversal property. So this is all for this class.